In this bulletin, vaccination important, says PM. Drowning of suspected COVID-19 case under investigation. And over 60 villages in Kandavu assessed and screened. Prime Minister Varengen Bainimarama reiterated that the best reward for getting fully vaccinated is not money, but the protection it offers against the deadly coronavirus. Bainimarama says the vaccine doesn't only protect Fijians, but also offer a level of security for those in our community. The $8,000 winner of the first lottery draw is Lorraine Ringomoto of Rewanga.
This national lottery is our thank you to the Fijians who are taking the time to follow the signs, to register and become fully vaccinated.
Commissioner of Police Brigadier General Sitiven Gilio was present at the draw last night to ensure it was done in a fair manner. The application for the first draw was open for 60 hours, where 104,000 fully vaccinated people applied. Villagers of Yangeta in Yasawa are now on high alert after a man who drowned last week, Thursday, tested positive for COVID-19. The victim, who is a 50-year-old man from the village, was taken to the Lautoka Hospital following the incident for post-mortem and swabbing. Turangan Ikoro Apisai Rangete says the swab result of the deceased returned positive. Josiah Nanunga reports.
A sudden twist of a full-speed fiberglass boat forced the 50-year-old man to jump overboard, and efforts to resuscitate him proved futile. The incident has ignited a shocking revelation for the Yangeta villagers.
We were really shocked when we received the news last week. He was well, but we heard that he was experiencing respiratory distress a few days before the incident. His body was transported back to the village last Saturday, and he was taken from the landing site straight to the burial ground without any protocols or ritual. Now this was done under the careful watch of the Fiji Police Force.
Apisai Rengele says the risk of community transmission is there. However, they haven't imposed any strict lockdown measures in the village.
At the moment, we haven't imposed any lockdown protocols. We are expecting a team of health officials to visit our village over the next few days, and we will take our cue from them.
Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Fong, says the death of the suspected case has alerted the Navula Health Center on the possible presence of COVID-19 in their medical area.
We found one case in Yasawa, you got Naviti, you got Malolo. So of course we're expecting that there's a lot of movement within the Yasawa Islands amongst themselves. So we do expect that there will be positive cases.
A team from the Ministry of Health is working with the maternity kina and villages to assess and conduct contact tracing work in the village. Dr. Fong says no other case has been identified on the island to date. Josiah Nanunga, FBC News.
Tolisuva village has doubled its surveillance after a COVID-19 death was reported a few months back. Village elder Lasiasi Koroi says they remain on high alert as all necessary precautions are being taken to ensure they are safe from the virus. He adds the battle is not over yet and the villagers are not letting their guard down.
We can never be too complacent, and we are strictly following the government stance in fighting this pandemic. The virus is still around us and we will never back down. Even though some communities have relaxed certain restrictions, the village elders here in Tolisuva have agreed to maintain the current lockdown measures despite fewer cases now reported from the Central Division.
People in the Maritime Islands have been assured that food security will not be an issue as commercial vessels will continue to transport food items to those in the COVID-affected areas. Permanent Secretary for Health, Dr. James Fong, says while these vessels are allowed to operate, traveling between islands on fiberglass boats is prohibited. Kelly Vadala reports.
People on affected islands will have to wait on commercial vessels for supplies as fiberboat travel is putting lives at risk.
Yeah, that was okay until Kandawu got into trouble. Kandawu and Yasawa. So now we are saying that both Kandawu and Yasawa, you're not allowed to go, they are restricted areas. Because people, essentially we are hoping that there will be common sense prevailing and everybody knows that traveling to those islands will be a risk back to their place.
Permanent Secretary Dr. James Fong says there are COVID protocols in place for those travelling on fibre boats.
We had allowed for some degree of fibre boats to come up to the shore. They give a shopping list, and then somebody goes, buys the stuff and bring it back to them. That was okay. But for us, the problem was that people got off and they went into town, bought what they needed, and then came back with the virus.
Health teams together with village authorities have also been monitoring the movement of people between islands.
Making sure that we continue to work with the communities and tighten that. Yeah?
Police who are at the forefront of monitoring restrictions say that any travel has to be approved by PS Health, and this includes fibre boat or by any other means. Kelly Badala, FBC News.
Medical support and assistance provided by overseas countries during the pandemic has helped strengthen our health system to continue the COVID-19 battle. Minister for Health, Dr. Iferemi Wanganambete, says visiting teams from Australia and New Zealand have contributed tremendously in the area of giving expertise and helping health teams on the ground.
Every equipment that we receive, every expertise that is provided our way, every team that comes through OSMAT and ANZMAT together with New Zealand that comes and gives us expertise here is strengthening our health system.
Anakasi Youth Group has stepped in to assist many homeless people by providing them with food and certain essential items. The president of the youth group, Sonia Krishnan, says they are mobilizing whatever resources they have to assist the needy and do something special for the homeless. She says this is they are part of giving back to the community while ensuring that street dwellers feel included in the society.
We see homeless people sitting there, but it's really heart melting as well, because there is no one for them, and sometimes they just feel like they want to talk to us.
And to our latest COVID-19 update for today, Fiji recorded 160 new COVID-19 infections for the period ending at 8 a.m. yesterday. 88 cases are from the West and 72 cases are from the Central Division. There are now 5 new COVID-19 deaths to report in the past 24-hour period. Fiji has recorded 48,083 cases since April this year. There are now 14,115 active cases with 33,168 recoveries in total. The COVID-19 death toll now stands at 525. The vaccination campaign also continues around the country. The vaccination rate continues on an upward trend as 96.9% of adults have received their first dose, with 52.6% fully vaccinated. Up ahead, Commonwealth Games prep a challenge and test matches a need for Bowls Fiji. Stay with us. Preparation for the upcoming Commonwealth Games is a major challenge for all participating sports. COVID-safe protocols have restricted athletes from training in their respective facilities. It's an even more daunting task for a number of team sports that will have to go through a qualifying stage to book a spot at the Games. FESONOC Chief Executive Lorraine Ma says the road to Birmingham is a lot tougher compared to the preparations done in 2018 for the Gold Coast Games.
Difficulties we all will have in terms of preparation, the difficulty in access to venues, the difficulty in being able to travel for international competition, as well as training camps.
Olympian Taichi Wakasama is not taking any break as he prepares for various upcoming international competitions. The youngster continues his training for the World Swimming Championship later in the year and the Commonwealth Games in July next year. Wakasama says he is finding ways to keep fit while awaiting for approval to be given for him to return to the pool.
So far, I'm not able to swim in a swimming pool due to this COVID outbreak. So I'm looking forward to get an approval later. But so far, I'm working on my body weight training since gym is not available as well. and also trying to stay fit so that by the time when I get back into the pool, I can get back to all those technique works.
Bowls Fiji hopes to get a few warm-up matches before the Commonwealth Games in July next year. Plans were disrupted due to the pandemic, but hopes are still high on having a few regional meets early next year. Warm-up matches with regional rivals were in the cards, but things are uncertain.
A couple of months ago, correspondents from Australia, New Zealand and Norfolk Island federations wanting to come here on the way through to Birmingham in, I think it's March next year, to play in the Commonwealth Games. And they wanted to have a competition with Fiji bowlers.
If the plan does not happen as scheduled, Bowls Fiji will improvise.
I would still like for that to happen, and I think we probably could do it as Fiji. Whether Australia and New Zealand, and perhaps even indeed Norfolk Island, are able to come next March, I'm uncertain.
Affiliate clubs are working on getting things normalized.
We will just have to go with what the government said about vaccination. So if you don't get 2 jabs, then you won't be allowed at the club. The message is clear to everyone.
Bowls Fiji is hoping to send a team of lawn bowlers for the qualifying tournament to the Commonwealth Games. Getting its eligible athletes vaccinated is the main objective of Athletics Fiji. The sport has been on a standstill since the second wave of the pandemic began in April, with the only action was sending Banuve Tambakodoro to the recently concluded Tokyo Olympic Games. Athletics Fiji Vice President Chochi Linga says they are planning for return to play, but vaccination may be a problem as most athletes are school students.
We are looking at how we will do this. The major one being getting everybody that's involved in athletics get their doses, get vaccinated, and as government is strongly supporting the no jab, no play policy, athletics likewise would like to encourage all its members to get vaccinated if you want to return and then get back to athletics. Some showers and few thunderstorms, moderate east to northeast winds, a trough of low pressure with associated cloud and rain is expected to continue affecting the group until tomorrow. That's FBC Morning News. Join us at 7 p.m. for our major bulletin. For news you can trust, get the facts from FBC's TV, radio and digital news at fbcnews.com.fj. Take care and good morning.